The camera also deploys our dark fighter technology based on our deep learning algorithms. It does weigh quite a bit. There's some safety instructions. Hello and welcome to Hikvision. I'm Dan King, one of the pre-sales engineers over here. On today's unboxing video, we'll show you the DF8C Ultra Series Network PTZ camera. So the model we'll be looking at today is the DS-2DF8C442IXG-ELW. This is a PTZ camera which is equipped with a powerful zoom lens and gyroscopic image stabilization, or GIS for short, as well as our dark fighter technology. Physically, this is an 8-inch PTZ which comes with a 4 megapixel camera combined with a 42 times zoom ratio lens. Although the high resolution, high power zoom allows the user to see clearly from a long distance, any tiny vibration will cause obvious movements on the camera. The GIS is designed to stabilize the images even though the camera is shaking. As mentioned, the camera also deploys our dark fighter technology, which can enhance the image quality at night or in low light environments. With strong wind or external vibration, a PTZ camera may lose the view. The DF8C PTZ series adds a new smart pan and tilt correction function, which can combat any force change to the PTZ module. Additionally, the PTZ comes with deep learning technology for classifying objects, which can trigger alarms and auto tracking features. Combined with a rapid focus, this will enable ever clearer images of the events that are important for you. So what's the deal with this new PTZ then? And what are its most noteworthy features? Let's run through them. Image quality is always the main concern on any camera system. However, usually PTZs are installed at a high level or on unstable platforms like posts and towers, or in areas that can cause vibration like quarries or building sites. These can cause environmental challenges for PTZs and the quality of the image. So with that in mind, Hikvision PTZs enable customers to have reliable images in different scenarios. We provide several stabilization technologies and low light technologies to combat these issues. The gyroscopic image stabilization, or GIS technology, reduces installers' concerns about high winds or vibration on an installation. By using the gyroscope to stabilize the image and produce a clear image, even at the furthest zoom range. Not to be confused with the GIS function, the smart pan and tilt correction function will enable the PTZ module to return to its original position in the event that the position is forcibly changed, either unintentionally during maintenance and cleaning, or maliciously via a physical attack. This will ensure the correct home and preset positions throughout operation. You will see this feature demonstrated in a video shortly. The dark fighter works in conjunction with the GIS and enables the cameras to produce detailed colour images in the daytime and longer IR distances up to 400 metres at night. The PTZ also supports technology based on our deep learning algorithms, which detects targets and classifies them into humans, vehicles and others. It helps to produce reliable alarms for users based on this technology. This model supports auto tracking, which can allow the PTZ to capture the object, compare the object with the information in the libraries and auto track the object. So welcome back. As you can see, I've packaged the camera itself and all its peripheries. We've laid them out on the table. I won't go through the physical packaging of the box and what you get there, but it is substantial enough to make sure the camera is transported correctly without damage and bits and pieces like that. So before we look at the camera itself, we'll go through the peripheries. First of all, as you expect, you get the Allen key, standard Allen key with the system itself. It's only one Allen key size on there, so that should be able to get you up and running on there. Next along, we have the collar. So this is to go on the top hat itself to connect to your bracketry. One thing you will notice, of course, there isn't any bracketry, arm bracketry or pendant bracketry as part of this. So please, if you are looking at this model, ensure that you get the correct mounting bracketry. That is detailed on the data sheet, your corners or your pendants or swans, etc. So make sure that you've allowed for that. Next along, we have a standard amalgamating tape, so when you have your bracket, you make sure that you've got the amalgamating tape on there to make sure you've got a good seal. Then we come along to the RJ45 gland. It is a standard RJ45 connection on the camera for your network connectivity. Please ensure you put that on there. That will just make sure that the camera itself is protected from any water and grass or anything like that. Then moving along on the same lines, we have some waterproof taping. So for any connections that you have on your alarm inputs and network connections, ensure you put this on. It just gives you an extra level of protection with regard to all your connections on the camera. Then we have the quick start guide. This outlines correct mounting and configuration of the camera itself, and also because this is quite a large item and it does weigh quite a bit, there's some safety instructions about the correct mounting procedures and do's and don'ts with the camera, and also how to make sure you're putting the correct amalgamation tapes, etc. on the system. Then finally, as mentioned before, we have the top hat or hood for the camera itself. 4 standard bolts when it's installed. Clamp that down, and that gives you your IP67 rating and IK10 rating on the system. So those are your peripheries. One thing you will notice again that's not part of this is any form of power supply on the system. The system can be powered by 24-volt AC, so you will need to provide a separate power supply if you're going to go that way. It is 24-volt AC at 3 amp, or alternatively it can run on high PoE. It is a 60 watt PoE injector will be required, so true high PoE on there. So please ensure, if you're going for this system, that you allow for both the bracketry and your power supply for the system itself. So going on to the actual head, as you can see, quite standard on the PTZs. We have your lens array and camera array in the middle there. All around the outside is our IR array, and then the small white dot, that is your actual sensor. So that's your light sensor to enable the LEDs to kick in on there. Nothing really out of the world there different. As I mentioned earlier, we have a wiper on this solution as well. It's also sensing wiper on there, so you can see that's there. If I now move the camera around, so we look at the back connections itself. So first and foremost, the most obvious thing, we do have the lanyard here. As I mentioned earlier, this is a heavy item, so please ensure that when you're installing this, that this lanyard is correctly installed and is secure, just in case the worst happens. You make sure you've got a safety chain on that in effect. Then we look at the connections itself. So as I mentioned before, we have IP, so your standard RJ45 connection. I'll always ensure that you use the gland when you install that on there. We also have the power connections, so that, as mentioned, this AC24 at 3 amp on there. Now, interestingly, we also, although this is an IP solution, we can run this in a traditional analog method. So we do have a BNC output, so it's the standard BNC, and also we have a 485 connection, so your pair for your data if you were to run it in that way. So some legacy systems you can still effectively control in that method. And then finally, as on here, we've got all our alarm inputs, outputs, grounds, etc., and auxiliaries on there. And that's your connection on the system. Once it's installed, you can see you've got a nice hook side of things here. So when it's up, you can actually hook it in place on the hat, and then enable you to connect all these correctly, and then clamp it down, and then that's fully commissioned and installed. And that about sums it up on the contents of the system. I hope that was useful. So I hope you enjoyed this unboxing video. Don't forget to visit our website as shown below at hikvision.com/UK. Also subscribe to our newsletters on our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on LinkedIn. If you want some more technical information, including additional how-to videos, search for Hikvision UK Technical Support on YouTube, and you'll find an ever-expanding library of short guides to choose from. See you soon, and many thanks.